Do you ever get that feeling that you're somehow behind in life? That by 50, you should be settled, established, have your act together. I know that feeling intimately. It's a common feeling when women hit 50. Here's what I've learned. This feeling isn't a sign that I or you messed up. It's a sign that something within us is shifting, awakening. Hi, I'm Ann Johnson. Y'all ready to chat? I'm in my 60s, and I've survived menopause, a teenager, moving from home to home with a traveling husband, and a job loss in my 50s. I've learned some lessons and collected some hard knocks. And I'd like to share what I've learned with you so you don't have to take the detours I did. In this chat, we're going to dismantle the lie of being left behind at 50. I'll share with you some truths that I learned along the way that showed me that this wasn't a dip or a downfall, but as an opportunity, one of the greatest opportunities to redirect my life and end up with something more fulfilling. This isn't about catching up. It's about waking up. Let me start by telling you something I had to learn the hard way. Feeling anxious, dissatisfied, disheartened in midlife didn't mean I was broken. For years, researchers have talked about the U-shaped curve of happiness. It's high when you're young, it dips down midlife, and then goes back up high again. And that's what we were told. You're gonna dip down at 50. That's where I found myself at age 50. Anyone else feeling that dip too? It's a psychological pinch point. I mean, we're dealing with our parents a lot of times, maybe a spouse, children, maybe they're teenagers or they're adults moving out, and we're confronting our own limits. It's not just a theory. It's a pattern researchers have seen across cultures and across countries. And yes, the data shows that the curve is changing because young people today feel dissatisfied and some unhappiness. But that doesn't change the reality of how I felt when I hit 50. So instead of seeing it as a crisis, the midlife crisis, I saw it as a catalyst, and you should. I started replacing the lies I heard about aging with truths. So let's get to those 4 truths. Truth 1, the old definition of success doesn't suit me anymore. Most of us chase a checklist: the job, the marriage, the kids, the house. And then we find out that the checklist is complete and we don't feel fulfilled. I suddenly realized that checklist wasn't mine to begin with. It was somebody else's that they had handed to me and told me to take care of. I had to have the courage to look at myself as 50, not 25, and determine, what does success look like now? Maybe it's not having a bigger house. It's probably just having a calmer life. What was my success going to be? This is when the sunk cost basis hit. Sunk cost basis is a mental trap. It's when you stick with something, even though it doesn't work for you anymore, because you've always done it. I've always lived in this city. I can't possibly move. I've got roots. I'm stuck. I've been at this job for 20 years. I can't leave it for something that I'm not sure about. But here's the truth. I figured out my past wasn't a debt I owed. It's a set of lessons that brought me here. My past is wisdom, not a bill presented to me at the last minute. So I asked myself this question, and I want you to ask yourself this question. What does success look like to you now? What brings you joy, peace? What makes you happy? And when I determined that my answer, just like yours, is the only answer that mattered. I see Art has joined us, the mascot of 60 and Ready to Chat. One thing that will bring a lot of joy to me and Art is if you hit that subscribe button. I really appreciate it. It helps me out. Thank you. Truth number 2, this isn't the ending, it's an intermission. For most of my life, as you probably know, 50 was always seen as the end. I mean, we all got the black balloons at the birthday party. Ooh, it's doomsday from this point on. But I discovered 50 wasn't doomsday. It was a transition, a very powerful transition. I mean, life is a 3-act play, and the roles change as the play goes on. Some of the roles were gone that I had, children leaving the nest. It kind of felt like my identity was being taken away. But on the flip side, it was very freeing to say, who do I want to be now? What identity do I want to take on now? Without all those labels, I could be anyone I wanted to be. This became a time of exploration for me, a time to try things I hadn't done before. And one thing I did was I took up blogging. I built a blog. I'd never done that before. I could barely use email. But I read about it and watched YouTube and figured out how to do it and enjoyed it. Actually made a little money at it, all because of exploration. I kind of reinvented myself. By reinvention, I don't mean becoming some stranger, someone else. It's about letting the person underneath me surface. The person who was weighed down by responsibilities could finally emerge. Truth number 3, small brave steps changed my life. Reinventing yourself sounds big and scary, doesn't it? Quitting your job, moving to Tuscany, writing a book. That's not how I did it. It happened in small, consistent acts of bravery. I chose one small thing a week. I took up journaling, for one. I had never journaled before, and I found it very satisfying. I looked into a class that I wanted to take on writing. Started researching how to build a blog, as I mentioned earlier. These were all little steps I took that didn't take a lot of time, frankly, but pushed me forward. The goal wasn't to overhaul my life overnight. It was to prove to myself that change was possible. New things weren't scary. I could do it. Every small step was a vote for my future. I didn't, and you don't either, need a 5-year plan. You just need the right step. And that's all I did too. Just took the right step. And truth number 4, self-compassion became my new superpower. Do you have regrets? I had regrets. Choices I wish I hadn't made. Words I wish I could take back. Years I wish I could reclaim. Regret has stolen a lot of joy from me. And it all came from my inner critic. No one else. Came from me. So I've learned self-compassion, not as a vague idea, but as a simple practice. I basically started treating myself like I would a dear friend. If a dear friend came to me with regret and sadness for the past, I would calmly assure them, you're okay. You did what you had to do at the time. And I tell that to my mother all the time when she laments about something from the past. When you go through life, you make your choice based on what you know at the moment. You cannot second guess yourself later down the road. It just doesn't work that way. So why couldn't I do that with myself? Once I understood that I could forgive myself, that I didn't have to criticize myself for things in the past, it was like a weight lifted off of me. No regrets. This isn't about excusing the past. It's about releasing it. Keep in mind that regret keeps you chained to what was. Compassion lets you see what can be. I'm going with compassion. I like to think in terms of my past as my foundation, not my prison. And those are my 4 truths. I wanted to share those with you because even though I discovered these in my 50s, I'm still working on them in my 60s, and I probably always will be. And that's okay. I'm moving forward. And as long as you're moving forward, you're doing okay. What have you discovered about yourself? I'd love to hear how you are dealing with some of the lows and highs of midlife. Don't forget to subscribe, and thanks for the chat.